sometimes cars are a little bit more clever and considerate than others, which gives them a certain amount of edge in this competitive age. Skoda is one of those companies that does invest in those clever, considerate details. I'm driving a Skoda Karoq this week, which is a small to mid-size SUV in competition with everything from a Nissan Qashqai and Honda HR-V to the bigger Mazda CX-5. I drove it with my family for 7 days to see how it performed. So I'm going straight to the boot space because this is where it really fulfills the promise of a worthy family car. Straight up, as standard, it has 479 litres of boot space, which is bigger than a CX-5's. So smaller car, bigger boot space. It will easily fit a pram, and I even fit boxes on top of the pram this week. Plus it has this cool moldable cover which actually just molds around your load so much better than a hard cover. Plus, if you opt for the launch pack, you'll get a power operated tailgate. I'm just so surprised at how much I actually enjoy this. And the Karoq also has a flexible seating system called VarioFlex, which means you can slide and fold the back seats to create more boot space. You can fold the back seats flat, and if you really need a giant transport system, you can even take the back seats out altogether, giving you a deep open space. Plus, you can run this car as a 3 or 4 seater if you need the floor space to transport things around. Just take 1 or 2 seats out. It's pretty fabulous. It's actually a lot bigger on the inside than it looks from the outside, and there's a good amount of leg and head space in here too. My 2 children aged 5 and 7 also had heaps of room in the back seat. There are 2 cup holders back here, pockets on the back of the front seats. Plus you also get air vents in the back row, which you will never find in a small SUV like the HR-V, for example. But there are only 2 top tether points for children's car seats. There is no third one for the middle, but I actually think that maybe they're just being realistic. Nobody's going to want to put a third car seat in here anyway. And smaller cars, which do have 3 top tethers at the back, are just kidding themselves. The Karoq looks like a cool modern car. There's a curved front and sleek lines, and it reminds me a little of an Audi, especially in this colour, but it's not an Audi, which is good for your back pocket. It's cute and funky, and I was so happy to be driving it this week. The interiors fare well with the launch pack. You'll get leather seats, which feel good, a leather steering wheel with a flat bottom, which I love, stainless steel foot pedals. The multimedia screen jumps from 8 inches to 9.2 inches of full touchscreen. There are no knobs, so it looks really awesome and modern. Everything is really well styled, and it just looks a lot more expensive than it is. There are 2 cup holders in here, but they're small and they didn't really fit my keep cup. You can actually take this whole thing out, so it turns into a larger center storage bin and just pop your cup in there. Not super ideal though. You do get a wireless charging section with the launch pack if you've got a compatible phone. Plus there are inclusions like a tiny door-sized bin in the front door, a torch and movable shopping hooks. It's all really practical. The bit I like most about the Karoq is actually driving it. It's smooth and it's fast and it just feels really good. There's a 1.5 litre turbo engine which zooms around town, up hills, along freeways. There's only a 2-wheel drive option, so there's no all-wheel drive option in the Karoq as yet, but apparently that's coming towards the end of 2019. The steering is super easy, and it just makes things like doing U-turns or 3-point turns or parking a breeze. Everything is absolutely effortless. There's a clear reverse parking camera so you can see exactly where you are, and the Karoq just handles beautifully on the road. It doesn't use much fuel either for a car of this size. It uses a claimed 5.7 litres per 100 Ks, and that's because it actually runs only on 2 cylinders when there's a light load, so it adapts and it uses less fuel. Safety-wise, it comes with all the bells and whistles, airbags for driver and front passenger, plus side curtain airbags that extend to the back row. Plus it has newer safety technology like auto emergency braking that actually kicked in for me this week when I was about to reverse into a bin on the footpath. The other newer safety technology like rear cross traffic alerts and blind spot monitoring are a part of the launch pack, or you can actually option them in with a cheaper pack, the travel pack. The multimedia system works really well. I was able to plug in my phone for Apple CarPlay. If you've got an Android, you'll be able to use Android Auto, and it just means you can make calls and send texts using voice control. Plus it easily syncs with your phone's main apps like Maps and Spotify. The speakers are great too. Turn the sound up. So in case you haven't already gathered, I really liked this car. For the price, I think you get really great value. There's a good amount of interior space for the whole family. The boot also has excellent standard space, but then you can reconfigure it if you want more room. It drives really well and it looks pretty fabulous. I gave it a family rating of 8.5 out of 10. I think if you've got a family that fits in this car, you'll really appreciate it. My children also gave it an 8.5. I think my enthusiasm rubbed off on them a little, but also they were just comfortable and happy. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel or click through to our website.